Hey, God bless you, parents. You haven't gotten rid of me yet. Haha. Okay, so listen, have you guys seen the amount of money that has gone into the Terry Mickle campaign? Have you seen that? Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, all this money coming in from different liberal sources and communist sources to try to push this woman forward into this seat to defeat Kelly Brent. That is really sick. Okay. And not only that, I've been off for a little bit. As you guys know, I am retiring, okay, from advocacy because there's other things, in my personal life that I have to attend to. But that being stated, um, as I was away here for a couple of days, I was getting these messages from the parents, and they were sending me these clips about how Terry Mickles and her group are promoting her as the candidate that will protect your child from sexualizations in the school, and the candidate that is trying to bring back common sense. Isn't it funny how common sense policy and protecting the children from this garbage in the school has always been Kelly Brent's talking point or one of Kelly Brent's talking point, and now they're claiming it and they're trying to attribute it to Terry Mickle. These people are sick. Okay, these people. I mean, I don't think that there's any level of low that they won't go down to in order to try to deceive, lie, and gaslight the community for the votes. And guys, I've been saying for a while, you have to do your homework when it comes to any candidate, not only this particular one that's evil within itself, okay, but any candidate. Because right now, there's something that I don't like happening in Pennsylvania, and that is that anybody can go ahead and decide that they want to run under the bipartisan banner, okay? And the problem with that is this that you really do not know where they stand because they're going to try to sell themselves as a Republican and they're going to try to sell themselves as a Democrat when in reality, it's like what the Bible says. You can't have one foot in the world and and one with God. It just doesn't work that way. So, that opens doors to cheating, to deception, to all sorts of gaslighting. And people really deserve to know what you are and what you really stand for. So now we we have this campaign here. And I'm here giggling because, they're telling me this stuff and me and my friends are looking social media and we're laughing. But this shows you, okay, that this particular campaign, whoever's managing it, um, have no integrity at all have no integrity at all. Okay. And she's flying this bipartisan banner, and she is not bipartisan because we have seen that, guys. We have seen that. And we have heard her speaking in the school board meetings in which she is backing up higher taxes here in Cumberland County, like, the school district taxes are not breaking our backs enough. But she believes in the tax to the max mentality. Okay. And she is part of the group that I have spoken to you guys a couple times about, which is the Voters Education PA. And voting, and we're going to be blunt here because voting for a candidate endorsed by the Voters Education PA is a direct threat to your parental rights. This group masquerades as a neutral educational advocate, but their track record tells a different story. They consistently support candidates who push top down policies that strip parents of their say in what their children learn, how they are treated in school, and what values are instilled. So basically, they want to do your job. And you have your constitutional right not only to speak for your child, but instill your values into your child. If you dare speak up for your child, whether it's about curriculum, safety, or transparency, these group of people and their candidates will label you as an extremist and they will try to shut you down. And that's not education, guys, that's control. So the Voters Education PA doesn't stand for families, and neither does Terry Mickle. They stand for silencing them. And I showed you in a couple of videos ago, I used their own document showing how they tell them to silence these people, label them as extremists. There's a whole toolkit that they give them that they can use against you and your voice. So if you care about your rights as a parent, steer clear of anyone flying their banner or anyone being endorsed by them. And Terry Mickle is endorsed by them, guys. Voters Education PA is the cog in the education industrial complex, and we have spoken about this also. And they are a sprawling network of bureaucrats, consultants, and political operatives who profits off controlling what your kids learn and silencing anyone who questions it. Sounds like fascism to me, right? Mm. They don't represent families. They represent systems. Systems that funnels billions into top bottom mandates, scripted curricula, and ideological agendas while shutting parents out of the conversation. Okay. And if you guys remember her last statement, and this was, I believe it was June 19, I believe it was, in the school board meeting in which we were speaking about the library policy. These were her words, guys. And tell me that this does not align with the PA voter education. She said, I want to make sure we are avoiding overreach or censorship that will expose the district to more lawsuits. That's her favorite term right here, the word lawsuit. Every time she speaks to the school board, okay, and go and see the videos yourself, lawsuit, lawsuit. I don't cat, okay? And in that process, we might forget to trust the people we hired, the teachers and the librarians to do their job well. But that's the whole issue, Terry. She don't get it. We don't trust this administration. We don't trust these teachers, and we don't trust these librarians because look at the smut that they brought into the school. Apparently, she's okay with the smut, guys. This policy needs to stay student centered and not driven by adult discomfort. I'm going to repeat that. This policy needs to stay student centered and not driven by adult discomfort. So right there, that statement is taking your away as a parent to protect your child on whatever topic it may be. In that sense, working on the library policy because you don't have a say. You don't have a say. You don't have a say as a parent. And you have a say, folks, because it's your tax dollars, okay, funding this smut. Keep that in mind. Then she continues to say, let's make sure we are encouraging critical thinkers and not limiting it. So, exposing our children to smut is making them critical thinkers? No, it's corrupting their morals. But this is what she and the voter PA education guys stand for. Okay, that's exactly what they stand for. So they represent ideological agendas while shutting out parents out of the conversation. So you don't have a say. When you vote for a candidate endorsed by Voters PA or Voters Education PA, you're not voting for better schools. You're not. You're voting for more control, less transparency, and zero accountability, which is what we, the parents of the West Shore School District, have been fighting for. We have been fighting for parental rights. We have been fighting for transparency, and we have been fighting for control. Okay, because this administration is out of control and you guys know it. But then she says there, well, we need to trust the librarians and the teachers. No, we do not. Not when they are not aligned, okay, with the values we need them to be aligned with, and not when they are not teaching what they need to teach and what we hired them to teach, not while they are corrupting the morals of our kids. They brand concerned parents as extremists simply for showing up and speaking out. Guys, this is not democracy. This is authoritarianism. dressed up in a PTA badge. If you believe in parental rights, local control, real education, accountability, if you're against indoctrination, then reject this candidate. Reject, reject this candidate and any candidate that voter education PA endorses. Again, if you are for parental rights, transparency, accountability, local control, real education, and not indoctrination, reject Teri Mickle. Stay like 10 feet away from her. The education industrial complex doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about your children. It doesn't care whether if they get educated or not. Okay? They do not. You are the one that care for your child and the education. So when you go out to vote, keep that in mind and vote like the future of your child depends on it. Because I have something to tell you guys. It does. It does. We cannot allow this woman, we cannot, okay? This woman who is representing everything that is wrong and who's being endorsed by such an organization to take that seat. So remember, in November, you want to vote for Kelly Brand because she has been fighting for transparency. And remember that when they started fighting for transparency, the Conservative Five, they had a cow. For curriculum transparency, they had a cow, did they not? She has been fighting, okay, to protect our children or our girls from men and women's sports and bathrooms. The Conservative Five are working on a library policy with a decency clause to get the smut out. Okay, while you have the opposition, Teri Mickle, saying the policy needs to stay student centered and not driven by adult discomfort. No, no. If adults are uncomfortable with the smut in the school, the teacher should be, the board should be just as uncomfortable, the librarian should be. If the parents are uncomfortable with the smut in the school, they have every right to protect their children. And then she sits down also in another meeting, I believe it was in April and March, endorsing and backing up and supporting higher taxes. So, to answer the question, do we trust our teachers and librarians and administration in the West Shore School District? Absolutely not. Do we want a candidate that's endorsed by the voter education PA that's going to further silence you and take your rights away and further indoctrinate your kid? Absolutely not. This November, say no to Teri Mickle and say yes to Kelly Brent. God bless.
Oh, I'm trapped again. And fate always hasn't wrapped again. I always get caught in my life of sin, but I just keep on going back again. You know I'm lost again, when all I wanted was to find a friend, someone that I can always depend on to help me find my life again.